what is the spiritual dream meaning of abandonment?
The answer? It's right there in the story of the girl nobody claimed. We're talking about Eartha Kitt.
Born in a cotton field, no father listed, and her own mother, she was so shamed by her mixed-race child that she just couldn't keep her.
So at just 8 years old, she's handed off, shipped, sent up to an aunt in Harlem. You have to understand, she wasn't a child to be loved. She was a problem to be solved.
Just picture this. She gets to New York City all by herself, on a bus, and there's a flower pinned to her chest. Not for decoration. No, it was her name tag, because they literally didn't know if anyone would even show up for her.
And so she stood there for hours, right in the middle of Penn Station, and nobody claimed her.
Years later, she'd say it herself, "I am the result of nobody wanting me." And listen, that wasn't self-pity. That was a statement of fact, a truth so deep in her bones, it fueled this absolutely ferocious life on stage.
Okay, so Eartha's story. It's not just some sad tale. It's the key. It unlocks the language of your dreams, the one that's speaking to you while you sleep. And this is what it means for you.
You know that feeling in your dreams of being left behind, completely unwanted? That's not just a wound.
No, it's a language. Think of it like an emergency broadcast from your soul. It's trying, desperately, to finish a conversation that you, when you're awake, just refuse to have. It is pointing a giant flashing arrow at the one thing you absolutely cannot afford to ignore anymore.
So what does that mean? It means you have to start asking the right questions. And I'm not talking about some gentle, navel-gazing stuff. No, this is an urgent interrogation. These are survival-level questions.
All right, first one. Why does that same dream keep coming back, over and over? Why do you bolt awake at 3 a.m. with your heart hammering in your chest?
Next question. Who is it in the dream that's leaving? And let's get real here for a second. Who does that person actually represent? Because trust me, it's almost never about them.
And what about you? What are you doing while this is all going down? When they turn to go, are you chasing them? Are you just frozen in place, screaming but no sound comes out? Or are you just standing there, completely still, just letting it happen? Your reaction, that's the whole key.
And this is the big one, the most urgent question of all. What part of you have you abandoned? Which ambition did you kill? What need did you bury? What truth did you throw away that's now rattling its cage in the dark, begging you to reclaim it?
Okay, so why? Why do these dreams feel so incredibly real, so urgent? Let's get into the mechanics of it, because this isn't random chaos, this is architecture.
Look, your brain is hardwired for one thing above all else: connection. So when it senses a threat to that belonging, whether it's real or just symbolic, it sounds the exact same alarm it would for a lion about to attack. Your nervous system literally cannot tell the difference between a predator and a closed door. To your brain, they both feel like death.
If we look at this through a Jungian lens, that person leaving you, that's what they call a shadow figure. And here's the kicker. It's not actually your partner. It's not your mom or dad. It's a projection of your own internalized rejection. It's the part of you that has decided you aren't worth staying for.
And that right there, that's how this wound plants these toxic core beliefs. You know the ones. I am unlovable. People always leave. I'm too much. I'm not enough. And if you leave those unchecked, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. You'll actually start to recreate the abandonment in your waking life, just to prove yourself right.
But look, that wound, that figure walking away in your dream, that is not the end of the story. It's the beginning. It's the doorway. So here's what happens now.
I need you to hear this, and hear it loud and clear. Your abandonment dream is not here to punish you. It is not a curse.
You're being shown something that most people go their entire lives without ever seeing. It's a gift. Your subconscious is literally handing you a blueprint, a map. It's showing you the exact shape of the hole in your heart. So it all comes down to this. The dream gave you the diagnosis. The map is now in your hands. The only question left is, now what? What are you going to do with it? Part 2. All right, let's just get straight into it. If you're having those dreams about being abandoned, listen up. Your soul is trying to tell you something, and we are going to figure out exactly what that is right now.
So, forget about those generic dream dictionaries you find online. This is a mirror,
every single dream variation we're about to break down is a direct signal, a spiritual SOS. So you need to pay close attention, because I promise you, one of them has your name on it.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. The deepest wounds, the ones that really shape everything about us, they almost always show up in our dreams about those foundational relationships. We're talking about our parents and the children we used to be.
So if you're dreaming about a parent just leaving or disappearing, look, this dream has nothing to do with your parent as they are today. No, this is about a deep childhood survival program that is still running your nervous system. It's a program that's constantly whispering in your ear that you're not safe, that you're not chosen, that you're just not worth staying for.
So what do you do about it? Okay, listen, these steps are non-negotiable. First, you're going to write a letter to the parent from the dream. And no, you are not going to send it. Tell them everything you needed. Then you read it out loud, to yourself. This is where you start to reparent yourself. This right here is how you stop bleeding all over people who never even cut you. Okay, this next one, it's brutal, I'm not gonna lie, but it is so essential. If you dream of abandoning a child, or you see a child who's been abandoned, that child is you. It's that innocent, vulnerable, creative part of you that you've pushed aside or criticized or maybe even betrayed.
And here's the fix. And this is not just some cute, feel-good idea. This is actual neurological rewiring. I want you to find a photo of yourself as a kid. The next time that nasty inner critic starts up, you pull out that photo, you look at it, and you ask yourself, would I ever say this to her? And if the answer is no, and it will be, then you don't get to say it to yourself. Period.
Right. So these core wounds, they don't just stay neatly packed away in childhood, do they? Of course not. They show up loud and clear right in the middle of our adult lives. We see them in our love lives, in our sense of self-worth, and in the promises we desperately want to believe in.
So you dream of a lover just walking away without even a glance back? Let me be crystal clear. This is not about them. This is about you. That back turned towards you, it's a mirror. It's reflecting your own deep-seated belief that you just aren't compelling enough to make someone want to stay. It's showing you exactly how you make yourself smaller in relationships, all because you're afraid.
And what about being left at the altar? Oof. This dream is about a very, very specific kind of pain. It's the pain of being betrayed by your own expectations. You sacrificed for this, right? You built an entire future around a promise, maybe from a person, a job, a belief system, and then it all came crashing down for everyone to see. So the real question isn't just who left me, it's what vow was broken.
And this brings us to the most crucial point of all. You have to stop waiting to be chosen. You need to choose yourself. Right now, I want you to identify the altar in your own life. What's that big thing you've been waiting for someone else to pick you for? Got it? Good. Now go do it for yourself. Give yourself the permission you've been waiting for. Do it now.
What if you're dreaming of chasing someone and they just won't stop? If you're having that dream, it means you are pouring a massive amount of your precious life force into a situation that is completely one-sided. You are doing all the work, all the chasing, begging for love or approval that has zero intention of moving towards you.
The instruction from your soul could not be clearer. Stop running. I mean it. In your waking life, find where you're doing all the chasing and just stop. Pull your energy back. See what happens. Because that silence that follows, it will tell you absolutely everything you need to know.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's turn the focus inward. Because some of the most potent abandonment dreams, they're not even about other people leaving us. They're about how we have fundamentally abandoned ourselves. This next one is a universal dream symbol, so I want you to lock this in your brain. The house in your dream is you. It's your psyche. It's the architecture of yourself.
So if you're dreaming of a house with an empty room or a locked room, that's your subconscious, plain as day, showing you a part of yourself you've completely abandoned. Maybe it's your creativity, your sense of joy, your sensuality. So here's your homework. I want you to reopen one of those rooms this week. Just one. Do one thing that part of you used to love.
Now, I need you to pay very close attention to this next one. Dreaming of being invisible or speaking and no one hears you? This is a spiritual emergency. I'm not exaggerating. It means there is a dangerous, widening gap between your true, authentic self and the life you're performing every day. Your soul is screaming that being unseen is just not sustainable anymore.
All right, this next category, man, it taps into such a primal fear, doesn't it? The fear that life is happening somewhere else, and you're just not invited to the party.
The feeling that the bus has left without you, the door is locked, and you've completely missed your chance.
So when you dream you're stranded, or you've missed the bus, the train, the plane, your psyche isn't being cruel. Think of it like a fire drill. It's forcing you to feel the absolute panic of your worst fear being left behind so that you will finally take action on a real-life opportunity that you are totally procrastinating on, all because of fear.
And what about dreaming of a door slamming shut in your face? Or finding yourself locked out? Well, that dream is all about grief. Grief you have not let yourself feel. That door represents a relationship, a job, a whole phase of your life that is well and truly over. But you're still standing there, aren't you? Knocking, refusing to believe that it's closed for good.
And here's the critical truth. You can't see any other doors when you're staring at this one. You just can't. So you have to name the loss. You have to mourn it for real. And then you have to turn around and walk away. I promise you, you will never ever see the new doors that are opening for you as long as your back is turned to them.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground. But now we get to the final wake-up calls, the loudest signals of all. These are the dreams your subconscious sends when it's done whispering. These are the dreams where it has started to shout.
A dream that repeats is a soul that is shouting. If you are having the same abandonment dream over and over, it means the root wound hasn't been touched. It's stuck, and it needs a witness. This is your clear, undeniable signal to take this to a professional, a therapist, a counselor, someone. Not because you're broken, you're not, but because you damn well deserve to be truly heard.
So after all of this, what's the thread that ties all of it together? What's the one truth that connects every single one of these dreams? From the parent who vanishes to the door that slams shut in your face?
It's this: show up for yourself. That's it. That is the whole point. Every single one of these dreams is a desperate call to action. It's a call for you to finally give yourself the commitment, the tenderness, the unwavering presence that you have been looking for from everyone else your entire life. And let me be clear, this is not the consolation prize. This is the whole game. This is the work.
So these dreams, they're not just random nightmares. They're a signal. They're telling you something is fundamentally wrong, and they are demanding you answer. This is what you do now. Look, it feels good to analyze, doesn't it? To finally understand why you're having the dream. But understanding isn't the work. Insight without action is just a fancy way of staying exactly where you are. We're done figuring it out. We're gonna answer it. So stop thinking, start doing. The work always begins inside you, in your nervous system, in your mind, and deep in your body. Okay, so when that dream jolts you awake, your heart pounding, your body is literally screaming that you are in danger. Now listen to me. You have about 60 seconds to interrupt that cortisol spike before it completely hijacks your entire day. This practice right here, it's not magic, it's biology. You're telling your brainstem, I am physically safe right here, right now. You are cutting that survival response off at the knees. And let me be crystal clear. This is not a suggestion. It is a non-negotiable requirement if you ever want to stop waking up in a state of fear. You are actively retraining your body's baseline away from constant disaster. That exact moment you wake up from that dream, your most painful, deeply held core beliefs are raw and totally exposed. You know the ones. I always end up alone. I'm just not enough. Do not waste this moment. Strike while the iron is hot. Grab a piece of paper and do this thought record. And a word of warning, don't just get stuck listing all the evidence for your fear. Your freedom, it lives in column 3, where you force your brain to actually find a balanced truth. And yeah, the work continues. Whether you keep a dream journal to map your own unconscious patterns, or you finally start speaking to yourself with the kindness you never got as a kid, or maybe you just sit in the silence you've been running from your whole life, or you literally throw paint on a canvas. The goal is exactly the same. Stay present with yourself. Do not run away. Okay, so doing the internal work, that's the foundation. But now you've got to take it out into the world. You have to take it into your relationships. This right here is the fundamental rule. There's no getting around it. This wound was formed in relationship, so it has to be healed in relationship. Hiding away from the world is never going to fix it. You have to risk connection. So, when a particular relationship keeps triggering these dreams, it is time for some brutal honesty. What do you actually need versus what are you really getting? Look at the gap between those two columns. Is it a little crack or is it a gaping canyon? You have to see it for what it is. No more excuses. So after you do your audit, you communicate one specific need. I'm not talking about a hint or a hope. I mean a clear, direct request. Now, if that request is met with dismissal, or even worse, contempt, listen to me. Your dream is not irrational. It is prophetic. It's a preview of coming attractions. Take it seriously. And for all the mothers listening, this might be the most urgent work of all. The abandonment wound gets passed down through generations, like a toxic family heirloom. You can be the one to break that cycle. You don't have to be a perfect mother. You just have to be a present one. You have to make sure the children in your life never, ever have to guess if they are wanted, if they are chosen. All of this work, the stuff you do inside and the stuff you do with others, it all leads to one final, undeniable truth. And this is the one thing, if you get this one thing, it changes everything. So let's ask the real question here. Every single time you silence your needs just to keep someone else comfortable, every time you minimize your own pain to avoid being too much, every time you shrink yourself down to make space for somebody else, who is it that's actually doing the leaving? You are. You're doing to yourself the exact same thing you're so terrified others will do to you. You are the one walking out that door. And that's the entire point of all of this. The work isn't about becoming so perfect or so pleasing that nobody ever leaves you again. That's a fantasy. The real work is about becoming a person who doesn't leave herself, to stay in your own life, in your own body, in your own truth, no matter who decides to come or go. Think about this. Eartha Kitt was literally abandoned as a child, left at a train station, but she refused to let that wound be the final word on her life. She refused to let it define her. She turned it into power. In every way that truly counts, in her art, in her power, in her presence, she stayed. And that is the final instruction. That is the answer to the dream. You must stay.